Hello, everyone. You're listening to the Socially Desi Show, the podcast that motivates you to live, create, and inspire. If this is your first time here, welcome. On our show, we discuss tips and strategies with our guest speakers on how to tackle problems related to personal growth, mental health, relationships, business and entrepreneurship, and health and fitness. So hit that subscribe button and go check out our website at sociallydesi.com for more of such content. Today, I'm joined by Mr. Rachit Chawla. He's the founder and CEO of Finway. So, Finway offers a holistic financial platform to individuals and small businesses, right from lending to investment advisory and wealth management to insurance. Hello, Rachit. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Anurag, for having me on your show. It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure to be hosting you on the show today, Rachit. So, to our audience who are not aware about you, why don't you tell us a bit about your professional journey so far?
Sure. So, Anurag, prior to kickstarting my entrepreneurship journey, I was working at Intel Corporation, which is the chip maker, one of the globally largest chip maker based out of United Kingdom, and I was heading EMEA division as a pricing analyst. So I came back to India in 2009, joined my family business, which is in the field of logistics. I increased the distribution network of my logistics company, took over 20 plus branches pan India, increased the turnover. And then in 2015, I realized that, I'm not very passionate about this industry. And perhaps I should explore my passion and do something which I love about, which was the capital markets. Hence, Finway was born. We are a holistic financial services company which is into lending, insurance, and wealth management. So this is my journey so far.
And when you talk about being in the fintech space, being in financial services, what is the USP that Finway brings on the table?
So a lot of USPs are there. I like to believe, Anurag, starting with wide
Hmm.
network. So a lot of companies you would see is either digital serving customers, or they are serving only through fragmented agent module. However, we saw the gap and we came up with a omni channel, which means that although we are digitally there pan India, but we have agent network across India, and wherever you are, our agents also can touch base with you in case you're not that tech savvy. So apart from wide network, we have 21,000 plus satisfied customers. Our processes are very very simplified. We use state of the art technology, which gives us the ability to turn around all the lending or investment leads in super fast turnaround time of less than 30 minutes.
Hmm. Interesting. And you also claim to have zero NPAs. I guess that's a big achievement.
So that is there pre-COVID. Actually, I think post-COVID things have changed, but I'm sure
Hmm.
that there's going to be a lot of resolutions. Not worried about that. I think right now we are going through an extremely difficult process. Hence, certain delays in the payment, but still our loan book is very robust, and I'm very happy to have a great team which is still working day and night to serve their customers digitally.
No, I think it's a blessing to have a good team, with you who can actually help you out and stay motivated through these testing times. So kudos on that of having a great team. Apart from that, Rachit, so today's main theme to everyone listening out there, we spoke with Rachit earlier before the episode, and we wanted to understand what is the importance of investing during the early stages of your career, like in India, especially when it comes to investing. People always think investments in terms of let's buy a house, so that's like an investment that people think. But there are, I think, lot many other things that you can look at while you are still young in your career. And Rachit, the stage is yours. Why don't you tell our audience the importance of investing, especially during the early stages of their career?
Yeah, so Anurag, I think this is one of my favorite topic, and I think this is one
Hmm,
topic which I would like to actually give knowledge to everybody I come across, because it is so important to invest in the early stages. The best part is I meet people who have retired, who are in 60s, and I tell them, how much have you invested throughout their life?
hmm,
Unfortunately, the financial literacy in India is not that high. And even when people are retiring, throughout working very hard, since they did not know the money management techniques, they are still not able to retire with a handsome corpus in their hands. Now, when you invest early, the age is in your favor. And if you invest early, the compounding is likely to happen when you reach
hmm,
or cross 40 years of age. And if you start investing early, like Warren Buffett is world's biggest investor and a lot of people are familiar with him, but you cannot imagine the maximum wealth being created by Warren Buffett was in the last 6 7 years. And that's primarily because the age is in his favor. He started investing when he was 18, and now, even when he's touching 90, his fortune is growing at a normal rate. It's just that the wealth has started to compound. And to add on to a very interesting example, is, if you are 25 or if you're 20, you look into your pockets, you'll see a very nice smartphone which you have invested. That means you have the money. That's the reason you are surrounded with such expensive gadgets. But if you invest mere 10,000 rupees per month for yourself in the stock market or anything where the capital is protected at an annual rate of just 18%, mind you, which our GDP and inflation is close to 14. So in a country like
hmm.
India, 18% shouldn't be a challenge. Consistently 10,000 rupees per month getting invested for next 40 years will fetch you more than 90 crores of capital in your hands, which is huge. But how many people do you know, Anurag, who are retiring having a corpus of 90 crores liquid in their hands? I can't think of anyone. So that's the importance of investing early in their lives.
That's true. I think it's an eye opener for me as well. I'm in my 30s, and I don't know if I've done the right kind of investments yet. But yeah, I mean, I completely agree with your point that when it comes to investing and taking example of Warren Buffett, I mean, one of the greatest businessmen and investors out there. It's really important for anybody who is young and who has just started off his or her career to understand what are the right ways of getting started in investing. So talking about right ways, Rachit, you must have also heard a lot of myths around investments. People have their own ideas, their own philosophies and myths. So why don't you burst a few myths for us as well?
So, the first and foremost myth is that people feel in order for them to get wealthy, they need to
Mm-hmm.
make huge returns. I think that's the basic and foremost wrong myth that they're having, because in order for you to create a large wealth, you don't want extraordinary returns, but you want consistency, you want discipline. Over and above, you want protection of your capital. A lot of times what people do, they reduce the power of consistency and discipline, but they want unnatural gains of 50%, 100%, which leads to capital erosion. I request all
Hmm.
your viewers not to focus on return. To have consistent, decent returns will fetch you far greater wealth than jackpot bonuses. So, people are these days talking about Bitcoin, that my wealth is doubled. My request to everybody is withdraw the wealth if you have created and put it into a safe investment instrument, so that that wealth can be sustained and your capital gets protected. So that's the number one myth. Number two
Mm-hmm.
myth is people somehow take their investment decisions out of greed and fear. Both the things, greed and fear, are actually wealth destroyers. Suppose you talk about the 2013 real estate bubble. A lot of people lost
Hmm.
wealth because they went greedy, and they said, since this asset class is giving 30% return year on year, it might continue to give those kind of returns infinite. But it wasn't the case. The bubble got burst. Similarly,
Yeah.
when there is blood in the street, like March 2020, the Nifty touched 7,500. There was a lot of fear. Not many people invested, and Nifty, in fact, doubled in less than 1 year. So, if they can control fear and greed and somehow rationalize their investment objectives, they can make a lot of money. So, this is the second myth, is where people tend to lose money, is by lying in fear and greed. So, they should be absolutely neutral in terms of emotions when they're investing.
True, true. And I completely agree. Because of this greed, a lot of people tend to fall for a lot of scams as well. And, I've seen a lot of people getting into scams of this Bitcoin, or be it for, in fact, in the stock market also, I've seen people falling for scams. And this is all happening because they want their money to be doubled. The way, they used to say in Hera Fairy, 25 din paisa double. So everybody wants that quick money.
Absolutely, Anurag. I would like to add something on that. Let's suppose that future value of the money you're investing right now, there is a formula that we use, which is
Mhm.
present value multiplied by 1 plus return on investment is to the power of n. Now, n is the number of years, and r is the return on investment. People are continuously focusing on the return, whereas if they focus on the number of years where they can carry that discipline and have the capital protection, the future value will increase tremendously. Whereas just to get their investment ROI more, they tend to lose the capital, and then they're out of the race. I mean, once your capital is lost, is not protected, then you're out of the game. Forget about
Yeah.
wealth. Forget about creating a huge corpus for your loved ones or for yourself.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And people, yeah, like you rightly said, people take that formula and they're focused only on the returns, and they don't look at the longevity of the investment that they're planning to do. So similarly, the thing that just spoke about, that people want their money to be doubled as soon as possible, and like people don't understand that this is like, that's never gonna happen. Like even if that happens, that's like, one in a billion opportunity that somebody gets lucky and they make that kind of a money. Like I was looking at this ad. I don't know which ad was this. My circle, my 11th circle, or something like that. That ad says, "एक रुपए से 1 crore." You know, so
Yeah.
it's like, it's really funny to me that how you can make ads like this, and how the government is actually allowing these ads to run. Like they're literally saying that you invest 1 rupee and you make 1 crore, and they're also claiming that every day people are making 1 crore. So
Yeah, but
that these
Anurag,
kind of.
you know what the funny thing is?
Mhm.
Even after all these companies keep on popping up, and people keep on trying their luck, keep on investing. And this is where I say greed has popped up, and that's the reason they will lose their capital very soon.
True, true. No, I completely agree with that. And, that is why you are here on the show, to especially the socially desi audience, to at least open their eyes and ears that this is, you need to be very, very cautious about, how you make money, and you need to be very cautious about where you actually invest your money. So, talking about that, where to invest your money, what is the right path for investing, especially if you can share a few tips for beginners.
So for beginners, number one, and very important, I would say, understand that creating wealth is a very boring task. Do not train your mind that you are getting into something where your money gets doubled overnight, because that's gambling. And when we are talking about creating wealth, it's a very slow, steady process. It is very boring in nature. But if you
Hmm.
are disciplined, dedicated, consistent, you will definitely have a lot of liquid money in your hands by the time you end your career. And believe you me, People take big goals for short term and very small goals for long term. I would tell the beginners to turn it around. Have a very long goal for yourself after end of 30 or 40 years, and then work backwards using the same formula, which is future value is equal to present value, brackets open, 1 plus rate of interest, bracket close to the power of n, which is number of years. And then understand that if you are able to invest in a very disciplined manner month on month, you can achieve the unachievable. I can assure your listeners, sky is the limit. They want a 100 crores corpus. You would be
Hmm.
amazed that in a 30, 40 years of journey, they can easily achieve that by mere 5,000 rupees per month investment. And 5,000 per month investment is something which is absolutely in reach of everybody, especially the millennials. So,
Yeah, that's true. That's interesting also. But then again, Rachit, we keep hearing these ads on TV which says that all these investments are subject to market risks, right? So when you say 5,000 or 10,000 rupees a month, you can get to that crore mark. Do you think the market also plays a big role in that?
so it is not the market that plays a big role. It is your subconscious mind that plays a big
Hmm.
role. The market will tend to grow by 12 to 14% per annum on an average basis. I'll tell you the logic. In a country
Hmm.
like India, the GDP is somewhere around 6, 7, 8% or in on an average, and inflation is 5, 6%. Now, if you invest your entire corpus in Nifty 50 index fund, so I'm talking about a index fund, a Nifty, which has the top 50 companies of India, you are
Hmm.
certain that it will never go zero and it will keep on giving you dividends and a generic return of 12 plus 2%. I mean, taking into account the dividends, so close to 16, 18% just by investing yourself in Nifty 50. But whereas what people do is, people don't want safe investments, they rather invest their money in companies like Kingfisher, which has got a lot of debt, and then the entire stock goes zero, and then they say, oh my god, I've lost my entire fortune. Whereas what I am suggesting is, be a part of India's growth story, invest your money in index top 50 companies of India. The best part is that if one company out of the 50 is not performing well, the index will automatically take the 51st company into the index and throw the company which is not performing. So you don't have to apply your mind, and be assured the index can never be zero. If index becomes zero, it is the end of the world for us.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, that's a very interesting point that you have made. And even I have never looked at this equation in that terms. So, I'm sure people listening to us would have, gotten something out of it. And to everyone, you can definitely reach out to Rachit and his team at finwaycapital.com or finway.in. We'll put the links in the show notes below. So definitely, if you have more questions on this and how the Nifty 50 works and how you can actually get started in your investment journey, so I'll definitely suggest you guys to get in touch with them. They also do a lot of advisory. They help you out, and they teach you a lot of things, like the way he's informing you about a lot of things right now on the episode. So that's really interesting, Rachit. Apart from this, we spoke about a couple of mistakes that you've seen investors doing, beginners doing, like especially when investing in very volatile companies. So, what are the other mistakes that you commonly see investors doing?
So, Anurag, before I go into the other mistakes, there is one important point that I would
Hmm.
like to raise for your viewers. Since I have been in the investment journey for 14 years now, I know that consistent discipline investment gets very boring because there is no action. I mean, you invest once in a month and then you sit tight. You don't have to do anything. So there's something called as play money. So what your viewers can do is, because I understand human beings needs action. They cannot stay away from airlines like Kingfisher, stocks, volatile stocks, or maybe Bitcoin. They should have 5% of their corpus as play money, so that 95% helps them achieve their wealth creation, and they can do whatever they want to do with the 5% of the play money, so that they don't get into the trap of eroding their actual 95% capital, which will be the lifesaver and the corpus for them in times to come. So this concept of play money is very important. I request your viewers to definitely take part in all the action. There shouldn't be any fear of opportunity missing out, but use only 5%, not more than that, if you want to create wealth.
Yeah, and people go the opposite route. They will invest 95% into their play money.
Yeah.
So
So
I
Anurag, the
think I
problem
think
is,
that's where people.
the problem here is not about IQ. The problem is about EQ. EQ means emotion
Hmm,
quotient. Now, if your
yeah,
neighbor tells you that I bought this car because I invested in Bitcoin, and you know that he's half your IQ and still doing very well, you get very emotional. And then what you do out of emotion, you also do the same mistake. You get trapped in greed and your capital gets wiped out. So it's better to tell yourself that, okay, this 5%, even if it goes zero, doesn't matter. But if it gets multiplied, at least I've got part of the action.
true, true. That's interesting. And you spoke about this 95% of the capital to be to be on the safer side, and especially with this whole pandemic situation happening, and we don't see this going anywhere near soon. So what are your thoughts on 2021, and where should people actually invest this 95%?
So, as far as I am concerned, my wealth creation is completely dedicated towards Nifty 50 index. There are a lot of things that I do with my play money, but 95% money is invested in Nifty index. Now, you guys must be hoping that you would want the Nifty index to go up, but I hope the Nifty 50 index to go down. The reason is, the more down it goes, the more opportunity I get to invest more money in the stocks which are the future of India, and I become a part of the growth story, because ultimately Nifty is going to reach 1 lakh also. Right now it's at 15,000. It will reach 1 lakh. Now, why would I want it to reach 1 lakh now? I would rather want it to drop more so that I accumulate more shares. And then once I'm done with accumulation, I don't have more money to put in, then it reaches 1 lakh. Whereas people want to invest some money now and they want the investment to shoot straight away. So I have a different mindset altogether, and I would want your viewers to understand we are doing this for wealth creation in the long term, not in the short term. Short term profits are of no use. Wealth creation is the actual reality.
I agree completely. I mean, you have to be in the game for a long haul, and short benefits or short, profits are something that they're not long lasting. You'll get some money out of it, but then you fall into that trap of maybe losing a lot of money also. So sometimes people lose a lot more than they earn, and that happens when they play, like you said, they play with more than what they can chew, and that's what is happening. So I think that's a very good
And
point, Rachit.
Anurag,
uh,
the best thing here is India's growth story is about to start. You are
hmm,
placed very well in India. Nifty index can never go zero, as I said. So you are investing in something which can never go zero. What better thing you want? It can never go zero. It's a fact. I can give assurance that Nifty index will never go zero.
True, true. Yeah, I mean, these are the things that people should actually take account for, right? Because they need to figure out that where they need to invest and how they need to invest. And I guess this is a very good starting point for them. That if they can start with investing in this index, which we all know that will not go down and will not be like zero. It may go down, but that's like how waves work, right? So some will have thrusts, some will have turfs. So all these things will keep happening. Apart from this, Rachit, when should you actually invest, and when other times when you should just stay back and just follow the market and observe the market?
So I would say now is the time to invest. Investment, as I said, is a very long term thing. Short term is where losses occur. So I would start investing right now without thinking twice. I would not fall into analysis paralysis. I would straight away pick up a pen and a paper, understand where I would like to see myself when I am 60, understand how many years I have left to reach to 60, and then understand what I need to invest month on month just to see that kind of wealth creation. Now you don't know what future holds. My strong suggestion is it might be that you invest 10 lakh rupees today, and after 1 month your capital becomes 5 lakh because the nifty crashed. That is the time when you have to invest more money, because the same thing which was valued at 10 lakh rupees is available at 5 lakh, so it's a 50% discount. But whereas if you invest 10 lakhs and it becomes 20 lakhs, that means doubled. That is where I would actually slightly hold my further investments, because sustainability says 12 to 18% the nifty will grow. Anything above that or anything below that is unnatural and irrational. Stock markets always behave rationally over a longer period of time and very irrationally over a shorter period of time. So I would again use the concept of greed and fear. I would like to invest when I'm somewhere between greed and fear. When I am in the concept of fear, I would like to invest more. When I read newspaper and I see blood on the street, everything is destroyed, I would invest more. But when I see the newspaper that everybody is becoming a billionaire because the stock market is peaking out, I would still invest, but only 25% of the actual investment amount. I would rather put 75% for a headline that everything is finished. That is when I will put that 75% of the money.
True, true. Yeah, that's really interesting because like you said, when you have that money and you see that the market is actually crashing, then you get more opportunities to invest in stocks which were earlier priced very high. So you get that opportunity to invest in them, make the right kind of decisions, of course, and then see in the long run, see those stocks soar again to their the peak, and you then slowly you make money. And again, when your stocks, when the market is rising and it's at its peak, at that time every other stock is like at a premium. So it's like I think that's a very good tip, that when the market is really peaking, look before you make any investments. I think that's really good advice. So Rachit, before we wrap up today's episode, what sort of trends do you see coming up in the fintech domain for 2021 and beyond?
So I think there are a lot of new things which are happening in fintech services. Like there's a RPA, which stands for Robotic Process Automation. Now
Hmm.
it has actually happened at significant levels across fintech domains, and I've already got a contact with the AI capable of doing this. But what it essentially means is everything will be able to do over RPA. You don't need any physical intervention. So, if some customer walks into Finway, there's going to be RPA wherein there won't be any human intervention, and Finway will talk to multiple banks through their RPA. So, again, there won't be any human intervention at their end, and automatically the turnaround time will be reduced to few seconds. Forget minutes, because human brain needs time to understand and process the information, whereas RPI is real time. So that is one of the information which is highly acclaimed. Then there is voice search integration, which a lot of people are already using. Then there is conversational banking. So that basically has to do with a lot of social impact in fintech. it takes care of the customer's credibility in terms of the text messages, conversation, social media, and then takes into account whether that person is eligible or not. So those are a lot of new technologies which are coming in fintech space, and Finway is always at the heart of whatever new technology is coming and whatever we can integrate with our current state of the art systems.
Well, I think that's great. We would love to see the fintech space explode more, and see what all things can be integrated. Like you said, AI. That will be interesting to see how this AI can be integrated with wealth management and other parts of the financial services. And yes, to everyone listening again. Go check out finway.in. You can also reach out to Rachit on LinkedIn. I'll share his a link in the show notes below. So definitely check him out as well. If you have any questions with respect to your financial investments, decisions, he's here. His team is here to help you out. So with that, Rachit, thank you so much for being on the Socially Desi show. It has been a pleasure to speak with you today. And I think, I've gained a lot of insights myself, and I'll connect with you separately to talk a lot more.
Thank you, Anurag. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure indeed.
So that wraps it up for today, folks. If you liked the episode, give it a big thumbs up, share it with your friends, and let's go viral. Remember, our weekly podcast features episodes on personal growth, mental health, relationships, business and entrepreneurship, and health and fitness. We would love to have Rachit on our show again in the future to talk more about financial wellness and investment in general. So if you haven't yet done so, hit that subscribe button and go check out our website at sociallydesi.com. And as always, before I sign off, remember, life is black and white and everything in between.